welcome everyone out to BCS 103, Linking District Resources. This course has been designed to help us as district commissioners and assistants to be able to look at a lot of times we focus on what we're doing in our unit service, but this helps us provide the resources needed that are available in the other district areas that we have. As we go along, this is kind of they have a standard layout that we'll be talking about for a district. But as we've been rejiggered here in our council, a lot of our districts are still forming, and though it'll give you an idea of where to go look for certain resources, they may be different based upon your district. So, although commissioners are viewed as a very knowledgeable and capable individuals, a key part of our job is to point a unit and our unit commissioners and roundtable commissioners in a direction that will of actual process owners for the topic in question. Many of those topics have a process owner on the local district committee. This person has access to further resources and wisdom that we may not have ourselves. Now you might be getting the idea that for a commissioner, knowing who has the answer is available and already knowing to enable you as a commissioner to provide better service to your units. Our objective today are below. Explain the typical district structure and the functions of the district. Know how to use the resources of the district to better support unit commissioners and the units you serve. And 3, utilize the unit service plan when assessing the unit needs and identifying district resources. So as we look at the slide here, we're going to talk about, as it says above, a standard district organization. This is the basic district structure that's provided in a lot of the documentation out there, but it's only a guideline to follow once you get down into your chair areas and how they break out these different functions. So, so your district may combine or even subdivide some of the topics, the typical duties found in our slides here. As we see here on the first slide, this is our key 3 for the district. They're the main ones that are focused on how the district is running. And so let's move on here to the next slide. The district commissioner is responsible for the assistant roundtable and unit commissioners, and helps provide them links to resources they need to assist the district's units. So here we see in the yellow blocks, these are our standard district committees. Your district may apply the district vice chairs to the various committee chair positions, but the typical blocks remain the same as they support the district committee's 3 main functions, which are membership, fund development, program. And program is quite a big area because it includes your training, your camp promotion, activities, and advancement. In addition, there is a nominating committee to help find volunteers to support these committees. So now let's spend some time in a little bit more deeper dive. Going back to those volunteers to help support these committees, a lot of our districts are still fresh and new and still need individuals. So if there's individuals out there that you know of, bring them in and provide that information up to the nominating committee and the district chair, and we can help fill out some of our committees. So, talking about initially the district chair and their duties, it all starts with the district chairman. This person has several duties, including identifying and continually recruiting enough of the right people as operating committee chairs. He also initiates plans and helps committee chairs recruit an adequate number of members. No one can do a lot of these tasks on their own, so it really takes quite a village to run the district. He also trains, coaches, and mentors district committee members and provides recognition. He also supports the local and national Scout policies, procedures, and practices, and annually appoints a new district nominating committee. So his job is fairly hefty, and any additional help he can get is greatly appreciated. We'll move on now to talk about the district's 4 functions. As we mentioned earlier, a key element of districts is the coordination of resources to support the unit and mobilize resources to ensure the growth and success of scouting units within the district. All districts are responsible for carrying out 4 standard functions. As you can see, the district committee oversees the functions of membership, fund development, and program, while commissioners provide the unit service. Volunteers are the key for each of these functions. Each operating chair, or under the committees, and the team of volunteers working to complete the various district functions are often the volunteer experts in the membership development, training, advancement, finance and budgets, activity planning, and event operations. We can call on these volunteers to help with unit problem solving, to provide more in-depth information for successful unit management. To better support volunteers, there are many BSA publications that provide guidance and policy. Shown are 2 of the district and 1 of the local unit commissioner pamphlets. You'll see others on the various slides that precede, and they are good resources to help out for the associated committee. These publications can be found in the Scout store via PDF on scouting.org, the National's website, as well as I've been able to find them most easily by putting in, searching on the internet, BSA, put the pub number in, and a lot of those will pop up in PDF format, which is a little easier than trying to search some of the sites for them. Now we'll take a minute and we'll go through each of these 4 functions one by one, so we can get a little more in-depth knowledge of what they can provide us and how we may be able to use them. So starting out, this is the membership committee. An important function of this district is membership growth, and the 5 items listed here on the slide. For example, new unit development, finding chartered organizations to create new units, membership recruitment, assisting units in recruiting, membership retention, retain our current scouting members, program transition, work with the units on transitioning from one unit to the next, for example, from Cubs to Scouts and from Scouts to venturing. And then unit retention is helping the current units function and move forward so that we can keep the units we've got moving and not have to have units popping up and down and dropping and so forth. The publication over here on the right hand side, if you'd like to learn more information about the membership committee, pub 33080 is the one you'd want to look at. So lots of additional in-depth information there. Another function of the district committee is finance, and that is covered by the fund development committee. Their objective is to see that the district provides its share of funds to the total council operating budget and encourage support of the local council endowment. Funds are raised from a variety of sources, including Friends of Scouting, product sales like popcorn and jerky, special events, and district activity budgets. Special events are fundraising events like golf tournaments, sporting clays, and our auctions. District activities include program opportunities for youth and volunteers like camporees, Pinewood Derbies, and district recognition banquets. The publication on the right-hand side there is 33779. If you'd like some more in-depth information on what that committee does. Up next is we'll start entering the program area. First talking about camping and the outdoor program committee. The final function of the district committee is program. This function oftentimes provides the largest membership portion of the district committee. This is normally a direct result of the major sub-functional areas it comprises. And so this can have a ton of people in it under program just because of all the areas that it does cover. And your district may have a different approach in dividing up the sub-functions of the program area. Our first committee within program is the camping and the outdoor program committee. Camp can include resident camps, day camps, family camps, venturing and Sea Scout activities. To run these events, leaders are needed, and this committee should be the one that selects them and develops those programs. The committee should work with the commissioners to help units carry out a year-round schedule of camping and outdoor program events. In addition, they should give special guidance on health and safety concerns of outdoor programs, activities. For example, right now and during our COVID time, they come up with the different safety and health concerns and provided things that we should be doing in those activities. This committee's promotion of the camperships can also make camping more available to those who otherwise could not afford it. So, and as the pub on the right-hand side, 34786, if you need a little more in-depth information on the camping and outdoor program committee, that's where you would go. On to our activities and civic service committee. The activities and civic service committee has the responsibilities for the activities found on our district calendar. It would be a skillery, or it could be finding a unit to support a Veterans Day ceremony. But besides organizing these events, they will also ensure that they are well publicized. A one-day competition would likely be sponsored by this committee. A campery could be here or with the camping and outdoor program committee, depending on the approach the local district takes. For more information on that, go ahead and see this activities and service committee guide, pub 33082. Program and training committee, the program training committee. With the advent of online training, the training committee may not be as visible as it was in the past, but it still plays an important role in providing the trained leaders, which help ensure a great unit program. Among their duties are recruiting, train, and supervise trainers, train leaders, develop process to get new leaders trained within 90 days. If your district does not have a process in place for this, I challenge your local committee to do so. They also plan and promote and conduct district training events. These could include outdoor leader trainings, as well as courses that can be done online. They also maintain the district training records, and they also support and encourage PAC trainers. For additional information on leadership training committee guide, you can go to the guide here, 34169. So, our final committee here is the Advancement and Recognition Committee. Under this program, this committee sounds pretty straightforward, as this committee should, since it's mainly over the advancement that we provide the youth. They review and approve Eagle projects. They also visit the units, says here, annually to interpret the advancement and evaluate the progress of the unit. They ensure an update of merit badge counselor lists, make sure it's available, and all counselors are registered. I know a lot of our districts or our councils still filling out a lot of those merit badge counselor courses currently, and they do have a list that is available currently. Identify and recognize leaders who should be thanked. They oversee district award of merit selections and develop and present other district awards. And further information on advancement can be found in the Pub 33088. The fourth function of the district, which we are the main participants of, that's our Commissioner Corps. This is where we take the information we have just learned, and now we can gain an understanding, learn how to gain an understanding of the needs of the units we serve and link them to the appropriate resources. The commissioner focus areas that we have, as a commissioner, we have many tasks and responsibilities, but if you take a higher look, they all fall within the 5 key focus areas: supporting unit growth and retention, contacting units, linking units and needs to resources, which we're talking about today, supporting timely recharter renewals, which we just got through talking a little bit earlier, as well as delivering effective roundtables. Focus area number 3 is linked to the unit needs to resources, and these resources can include publications, web pages, etc. But today we're focusing more on the district as a key resource for supporting our units. Here's a little diagram of kind of how unit service should be working. The unit service plan is a tool to strengthen a unit and enable it to offer the best possible program to the youth that it serves. A collaborative effort between the unit leaders, its chartered organization, and the unit commissioner and the district operating committee that establishes a customized annual plan that is periodically reviewed and updated to provide continuing improvement. And so through this process, we should be putting together an actual plan together so that we can assist a unit in its needs for putting on a better program. In addition to the unit service plan, this enables commissioners to focus on their primary responsibilities we just covered. After a unit is assessed and a plan for improvement is developed, the district is committed to help with the unit's success. As a commissioner, you need to enable the exchange between the unit and the right group of persons on the district committee. So as district commissioners, it's our responsibility to help understand what's happening over in our district and with its committees, and being able to point our units as well as our unit commissioners and even our roundtable staff to resources they can use to best individually help our units and focus on them. The district commitment. How does the district commitment part really work? It starts with knowing the right resources within the district, then linking the unit to those resources, and finally, providing monitoring and follow-up to see what the plan's progress is. Your knowledge of your local district organization and having the associated contact information will be key to enabling the process. I know as our districts are still moving around, it's going to be it's one of our jobs to find out what's happening at the district level with our committees so that we are able to find those resources. I'm a newer district commissioner, and it's been interesting to kind of go through this presentation and to learn about the different district areas, to be a little more aware of where I need to be looking for resources to help the unit commissioners and the roundtable staff. Okay, let's take this is going to be a little more hands-on participation for the different groups. We're going to link resources to where they might be found. So feel free to mute yourselves if you'd like, or put the answer over in the chat window if you'd like to do it there. But we're going to put our newfound knowledge to the test and see if we can see what resources we should link these units with. Okay. Okay, a unit is having a problem understanding how to add training into a scouter's records. And I've listed down below the different committees that may be available to you. Can anybody tell me? Can you tell me which one we should be using?
Advancement and recognition.
Advancement and recognition. That's close.
Okay, then training.
Training, yes, the training group. They're the ones over training. So they would have the actual information on where to go to add that scouter's records, that training record back in. So,
the unit commissioners actually have access to that too.
Yep, I just found that out yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's something we can also do, is enter that information in if it's available. I've heard, there was also in our commissioner cabinet meeting this last week, they're changing systems, and a lot of the old trainings have dropped off visible to us,
right,
or to you individually. So if you have individuals that may be looking for all their previous trainings and would like those continued forward, you may be able. The council still has those available, so and can provide you a list. So, any questions?
And you can find that list in my scouting. There's a legacy section under your name, and that generally contains all of your training. So what's been recorded previously. So there's a place that we can look that up, but that's only as an individual. So you just have to direct somebody in their scouting thing to say, look at your legacy stuff and see if your training's there.
Yeah. This is a pretty common one. I've seen a lot of scouters, for some reason, they've attended a training and they've got their little card, but for some reason it doesn't ever make it into their training records. So it's good to know that we have the ability to update those. Any more comments or questions on this one before we move on to the next?
So maybe the committees are an important thing for maybe a unit to understand, but probably their first resource would be their unit.
Correct.
Their unit commissioner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one thing we want to make sure we're doing, is supporting our unit commissioners, so they don't know where to go. We're able to link them into. And then if we don't know, we can link them over to the district committees to be able to provide that help. So, okay, let's go on our next one here. Let's see. Unit's leadership is new and are unfamiliar with how to conduct recruiting campaigns, including joining scout nights. Where do you think they should go first? What should we link them to if we're going to a committee for that type of information?
Membership.
Yep, membership. And for lots of units don't, at least because of how we've been functioning in the past as councils in Utah, haven't done a lot of scouting nights or recruiting events. But there is a lot of support available through the district as well as the council, as well for flyers. They have the ability to do what they call some geofencing. So if a unit's having a recruiting night, they can actually put out messages either via Facebook or other social media events that'll actually, just for that area, they can advertise just to that area around where that event's going to happen. So if the unit provides the date and time that event's happening, they can do some social media help with them also. There's also flyers available, and even posters available that the council can print up for you. So lots of availability there if we link our units up to that resource. Any more questions or comments on this membership? Okay, let's move. Go ahead and move on here. Advancement beyond first class for these scouts, or for the scouts, has been slowed by attainment of merit badges. The troop does not have any merit badge counselors registered, nor a recent list of others who are registered within the district.
Advancement and recognition.
Yep, advancement and recognition, exactly. And those lists, I know the council currently has a list of those who have currently been registered. I think it's going to be a little easier to track now that it's more of a registered process, where in the past it was kind of, you were just tossed onto a list and you were never removed from it until recently. So any other questions or comments on this one?
Other than we really do need to recruit merit badge counselors.
Yep.
I mean, that's main. Without that, we're not going to be able to support our district.
Correct.
The units have access to that list via Scout Book.
Yeah.
And some districts run a merit badge fair or college at least one time a year, and that can be useful.
Yeah.
Correct. So, okay. Any other comments? So as it was said, that list can be found out on Scout Book, and some of those bigger merit badge powwows are also still available. I know there's one coming up here in our district in October. So, okay, on to our next one here. A unit very much wants to earn gold level JTE points for performing service projects, but they are having problems identifying meaningful opportunities for service in the community. Where would that one fall?
Activities and civic service.
Yep, activities and civic service. This is a committee I've never really known about, so it's good to know that they're out there and available. Other than just planning activities, they also should have a little more civic, local connections, and can also help us out with those types of that type of information. Any more comments on this one? Okay.
I am curious as to how many people have actually been a member of or been in an area that does BSA scouting and has been on a district committee that operates like this. I was in Georgia, and it is, if we really pay attention to these things, we had about 20, 25 people on the committee, and we covered all of this. We helped each other. It is there's something very special, I think, that you end up feeling when you take a district committee and really do this, and it's a tremendous service to the community.
Yeah, and even at this point in time here in our council, there's still a lot of people that think scouting's gone. And really that activities and civic service area is where we're able to get out in the community and say, hey, we're still here, and be able to continue to grow scouting here back in our area. So,
to that vein, there's going to be a Scouting for Food drive organized next February. My wife is involved in planning that. It got basically killed by COVID this last spring, but we're going to have a council-wide Scouting for Food drive in February. So be looking for more opportunities to get involved in that.
okay.
And also on this one, if there's a good link to the council, depending on the activity you perform, particularly for civic service, you can get some good positive publicity. For example, I know in the council I'm in, it may be different for Utah, of course, but if scouts are involved in, for example, Memorial Day placement of flags at the Logan Cemetery.
Mhm.
That's a positive thing if they're allowed to be done. It wasn't allowed apparently by the cemetery this year. But I've been involved in other councils that have gone to national cemeteries to have special ceremonies on Memorial Day. And that's a civic service that can gain publicity that's positive for the council and for the scouts,
Yeah.
which is kind of few and far between today.
And it's interesting too that we were currently talking about a lot of the stuff that these committees can do for us. At the same time, there's a lot we can help these committees out with. For example, with their connections they've got through our communities, for example, one of ours was, I think it was last year, the local area had a new football or a new soccer team that came in, and we're looking for people to come in and do the flag ceremony. So units were being asked to go in and do those flag ceremonies and help out. So those are great opportunities, as well as doing flag retirements. That's a big one that I've seen units do in our area as well. We actually have a collection area for old tattered flags, and a couple times a year we'll go through and retire those flags so they don't build up too much for the community. So anything else for this one before we move on?
One thing that we ought to think about too is that stack of old flags that you have. That's a special opportunity to help retire a flag.
Yes.
That can really inspire a scout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the units we've got does that for at the Elks Lodge, and they actually do they invite the Cub Scouts as well as Scouts and anyone else that would like to attend as they do those retirements. So very inspirational. So let's go on here. Okay, although a troop conducts a successful unit fundraiser, they are unfamiliar with supporting council fundraising campaigns and have never heard of Endowment.
Department.
What's that?
He said it right. Fund development.
Fund development. Okay. It was hard. I couldn't hear it very well. So
yeah.
Thank you. Yes, fund development. Does everyone know what the endowment is? What it talks about endowment? So the council has an endowment fund, which is a fund that is donated to over the years by different organizations as well as individuals. It's mainly there to help the council in times of need, as well as other things needed to help grow scouting in the area. So that's available out there. Other funds out there that they're also probably responsible for is the World Friendship Fund. I've seen them come into units and do a little presentation on that to look for donors in the local units. Right now, I've seen them also doing Friends of Scouting in that same manner, where they'll drop into a court of honor or a PAC meeting and talk about Friends of Scouting with the families and unit there. And they're available. It's available to actually donate that evening via QR code and the use of their phones. So. Any other comments on the Fund Development Committee?
Yeah, this is a great way that people can do donate funds from, when they as donate when people pass on, or have some funds that they may not need anymore. They can dedicate them. Sometimes they use just the interest, and they keep the principal. So there's a lot of ways that people of wealth can help out the scouting movement, and So in fact, some of the camps that we have been donated in that manner.
Yep, true. So, any other comments on this one before we move on?
Relative to that last comment, I would say, and this is Jim Brookie. I'm in Denver Area Council, and I've been in several councils, and it wasn't until I came here till I found an endowment that I had not seen before, and that is one benefactor specified that they wanted their money to go toward providing scholarships for staff for summer camps.
Mm-hmm.
And that is really revealed itself in quality, ongoing staff for summer camps. These young people are provided college scholarships, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
during their summer work. And it has provided a real continuum of qualified staffers for summer camp.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing which I think is missing from this deck is we talk about the stuff at our district level. But another resource around that for helping individuals get trained for Wood Badge or possibly even Philmont is the Silver Beavers have the ability to apply online for scholarships for Wood Badge or some of these other programs to help units that are leaders that are in need to get them trained. So also make sure that's getting out to your units. And that's on that. Yeah, that form can be found on the council website. And it's just an electronic form you fill out, and the process, they would like it, I think, 60 days before the event happens, so they have time to go through and approve it. But that's something else also available out there for our units. Okay, anything else here before we move on? Okay. Hey, slide 24. Although the troop does not have enough scouts to create their own high adventure event for the summer, there are scouts that would still like to participate at one of the BSA's high adventure bases.
Program.
Okay, program camping and outdoor. So there's lots of information there. I think this is usually one of our bigger committees, just because of so much that's going on there and keeping the information available for our units for camping and outdoor activities. So any other comments for this one or questions? All righty.
I do have a comment on that. I hate to.
Oh, you're good.
So much, but if I look at the units that are developing here in Utah, shifting from LDS to BSA scouting, I think the biggest deficit I see is in this area, the program camping and outdoor. And I would, speaking to people in Utah and anybody outside that wants to offer suggestions, I think this area, if we don't ramp up pretty quickly on this, I think we're doing a disservice. There are lots of things we have to do, but I think we need to have a core. My suggestion is that we really put our effort in the district's committees into this program camping and outdoor, and make sure the unit commissioners are pulling in the units and making sure that they know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Because my experience in the units that I've run is the way that I made them, I didn't do anything. The way the boys made them more successful was to be involved in outdoor activities and camping. That's what allowed the unit to grow. And without that, the unit didn't. And I'm guessing that this is fairly common.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think in the past, it's been the committees in the past for camping and outdoors have kind of been the ones kind of driving things and saying, okay, here's an event, come and do it. Here's an event, come and do it, where the focus now on is really we need to find out what the needs of the units are, so we can put together camping and outdoor experiences that the boys actually want and are needing. So we're becoming an actual resource to the units versus something additional for the units to do that may or may not benefit them. So
Excellent, excellent.
we're looking at in our districts, make sure we're getting our input back from our units, even if after we've had one. I mean, we're kind of the feedback for these committees and how well they're doing or things we may need to change, because we're the ones talking to the units. So after one of these activities, we should be providing feedback from the units back to the committee so they know what to change and what to plan for next time.
Excellent.
And one of the best resources, if you can identify units that have done particularly high adventure events, like up to canoe base or whatever, if you can get several youth from that unit to go to a unit that has never been to one of these and explain what it is and how much fun that they had, and a good slideshow or a video presentation of what the event is, then that can really help the process.
Yeah. Or even pull them into a roundtable and having them present their roundtable to the
to multiple units.
To multiple units to be able to get that word out.
So this may be a part where it can kind of, there's two questions I have. There's two active components that are acting outside the districts right now, and that's outdoor ethics advocates and the Order the Arrow. Where do we feel they should be on the committee? Is this in the program area where they can be engaged, because they're a resource that often is not part of a district organization?
We always had the chapter advisor as an active member of the district committee.
Okay.
And a committee, I mean, he was a part of it, or not he or she, of course, but he was a part of it. And we had a report every month if there was something going on, and there usually was. So everybody knew at the district level with an active district committee. And Roundtable was another place that they went.
Well, no, I know that's where they advertise and stuff. It's more, we're trying to build a district committee that it's supporting the units, and those are two parts that kind of sit on the outside and act on their own. And one of the ways is obviously to put them on the district committee, and that's why I was just asking the question more than anything.
The outdoor
work.
My thoughts are the outdoor ethics should have a piece in your training committee at the district level. That's where that information is being brought into your district and being disseminated back out through training, whether it's training just your adults or even training your youth at that level. And you're, like we just discussed with the OA, that should be they should be part of your district and how you're using them and providing them. I mean, I see them as part of the civic service area as well as your outdoor camping. There could be lots of different things that
I think that's the difficulty with both of these, is the fact is a transition between multiple specialties, activities and service, training, outdoor functions, etc. And I think that's part of the difficulty, is where do they really belong and best function. Yeah.
David, my understanding on the structure of the OA is that there is a representative within the youth that is an OA representative at the unit level, and they work with the OA representative who is at a district level, but they're not exactly under us per se. Like they are, but they kind of work independently. That's my understanding. Is that right, guys?
They're more youth run, or they should be more youth run. They technically have a president at the district level.
Right.
And again, in my experience, one that district committee worked really well. the fact is that people were on committees, but we shifted to wherever the need was. I mean, I was on the training committee, and if another committee needed help putting on a program or camporee or whatever they're doing, we would just help. We had a committee, but we weren't so focused other than in one person was responsible for pulling together the information.
The lead, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and remember that these committees that are listed here are just the standard starting points.
Right.
So
that's a good point. So
you're able to move stuff around, and you can even create new committees.
Well, it part of it is it's the independent part of it that comes in and says, I need to have time. Mm-hmm. And it makes it difficult when they're not part of something. Yeah. They just pop in and say, hey, I need time, and especially at round table, and it makes it difficult to incorporate them in. And that's the reason why I was saying we need to bring them in to the district. It seems to me that's where they realm at. How we use them is the question, and where they can sit at best is the other part we need to answer. But getting them in there is, I think, a key thing. And the Order of the Arrow is one that's very independent. Mm-hmm. And I think because it's so independent, there's a lack of troops and venturing crews knowing that that's out there. Yeah. And the Cub packs, so we just building.
As OA chapter advisor, when I was OA chapter advisor, I sat on the committee, and that I was a part of the committee. That was my role.
Good.
Yeah, and that makes it happen.
That's a good point. Yeah. So okay.
I think the big thing there is bringing them in and making them part of one of the committee you've got, making them a part of that, so that you have representation there, and then you have your channel. Yeah,
I guess we keep on having to remind ourselves that we're building.
Yeah.
we really are building, and it's not.
It's not there.
We're far from anywhere being ideal. Let's put it that way, and as much as we'd like to say that it would like to be ideal, we're far from it. But anyways, okay.
Okay. Any other comments before we move on from this one?
I found that out as being the Philmont ambassador in my former districts, that it's been real nice to be able to go in and talk to them, but not take up a lot of their time at roundtables, particularly. Yeah. And sometimes we get some of these programs in, they take about 5 minutes to make their presentation. So we need to let them know that we need to keep the time for the leaders and for the training for roundtables.
Yeah.
We've actually looked at putting together booths or informational as a what do you call it? As a segue into roundtables.
The main street. Yeah.
I have my display at where we all meet or somewhere in the building. That's what I've always done.
Yeah.
That was a good plan.
That's a good way, because I independently, I hate to say it, Wood Badge is a good example. It ends up being about 15 minutes, and it's like I appreciate you, but we need to let our roundtable function, and that you weren't a planned part of it. Sorry. And I think, anyways, as we get organized, I think we can see that working a lot smoother as we work with it, because they'd be able to communicate that to the roundtable commissioners. Say, we've got Wood Badge coming up. How are we going to get into our folks? So, anyways, okay.
And me as a new district commissioner, this isn't something I've ever been a part of. So I've kind of just been focused on, okay, are we getting out to visit our units versus I need to find out who these people are with these committees, and also figure out what's going on that side of the fence as well. So
I'm going to ask another dumb question, not a dumb question. The unit service plan plays a very important role here. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember if we had any training on that on any of these segments.
We covered a little bit of the unit service plan, but not real in depth. But
I
yeah,
think it,
going back, let's see here.
We have 5 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
yeah,
Back in here, so you assess the units,
right.
create the unit service plan, take it back to your district committee, implement plan. So
Well, I think what I was meaning is it's plays such an important role in unit service that it requires us to probably look a little bit more focused at it in the future, because with the unit service plan, then that information can flow into the district. But if we don't have it, it's difficult.
yeah. And there's no way to track how you're doing going forward either if you don't have an initial plan to judge.
Right.
Okay. So I think so can anybody name the 4 functions of the district?
Membership was one.
Program,
Program.
unit service, and fund development.
Yep, those are the 4. And what are some key operating committees of the district?
Operating.
Advancement.
Membership.
What's
Camping and outdoor programs.
Okay.
Membership.
Membership,
Training.
Training.
membership.
Okay. Activities and civic service is the other one. That one's kind of
Okay.
it kind of ties close into camping and our program, the camping and outdoor, but it is also there. And the last question kind of goes what we just got talking about, and really, how does the unit service plan, how do we use it to link the unit's needs back to the district resources? So that's the thing we need to keep top of mind is the unit service plan, keep that in play, and figure out how we can link these units through that unit service plan back to the resources that they're in need of. So, okay, any last questions before we wrap it up?
I think it's important to note that you can't link a unit to a district resource that doesn't exist.
Yep. And that's the big one we've got currently is getting those committees filled out so that we've got resources available to them. So
The other one is a unit can't take advantage of their commissioner if they don't have one.
yep. So and that falls all the way back to us because if they don't have a unit commissioner, we are their unit commissioner.
Yeah.